moment on this conference that I went for in Nairobi, when the South African Minister of Transport stood up in the gathering where there are political parties from all over the world, and he said to me, he said, I want to applaud Liberia because your election was so tight, hotly contested, and President Bouaga only defeated President Weah less than 30,000 votes. And yet, President Weah conceded. He said, you people should continue that democracy. I was proud. I'm going to say anyway, therefore, President, we have to concede and keep our democracy on the path it is. It's something, of course, I'm proud of, and I'm happy he did that. I will praise him any day for that, because not many Africans can do that. Look, let's stop all these political norms. When people do something good, praise them. He could have stayed in power like other people. Yes, he could have done that. When President Bouaga,
I'm a United Party partisan from local country.
How long have you been selling here?
I've been selling almost 3 years. Not even 3 years, but I can't remember. But almost, yeah.
But you've been selling here for a long time.
For a very long time.
Yeah, so how was things doing President Weah Town?
It was smoothly moving. Oh, small, but for now, benefit. As you can see, since the morning, we never even sell one customer.
So since this morning,
and then
nobody has bought anything for you here?
Yes. Police can take a market. They expect you to free, you know.
Okay.
Since the morning, nobody number. So are you free? You leader, I will get taken a market.
Wow. So now, will you prefer President Weah coming back?
Oh yes, I'm a United Partisan.
Yes. But now if election is here today,
I will vote President Weah.
President Weah?
Yes.
Go here, United Partisan?
Yes, because of what's going on now. The relegating us, yes.
Yeah, economic condition is not better.
Oh, yes.
Okay, your name again?
I'm a J. Kamara.
I'm not J. Kamara.
Yeah.
Thanks for having you. So ma, how everything? How's the country with you now?
The country too hard. Not allowed to eat my son. The country hard.
Wow.
Can you imagine? My children coming dre. The old shoe that on the bed, I take from there. Doing Jogia time. Yeah? I will buy different things. I will come at shopping. I buy different things. But the old shoe, yeah. I come for breaking it now. I'm going to put it on the green tray. So tell me now, what the facility now that will go on in the country? It's too hard.
So you saying that what you were promised by the Joseph Yuma Bouaga government, that is not what you say?
Nothing. I'm not saying nothing working. Nothing working, brother. I will not lie to you.
So what do you prefer now? Will you prefer George Mano we are coming back?
I say I prefer 100 times. You know what I will tell you? My chicken, my dog, everything waiting. Now.
Everything waiting.
I say everything waiting to vote for Joya.
Wow.
Yes, because I know the interest are in him, and I know that God sent him.
Okay, God sent him.
Yeah, God sent him.
So, no
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So how is business going? How's business?
The business is not really improving.
So now you've been selling here for over some years, and so during the regime of George Mano Weah, and as compared to now under President Joseph Yuma Bouaga, how can you compare business?
You can't compare it because I can remember 2017 when George Weah became president for Liberia. As of the time I start making money on my own. I even bought Lendi. But anytime you know the party people come in power, something very hard. As you can see me, this is not my body. Things are hard. Yeah, so from the economic situation, the economic situation for presently, this regime is very hard.
It's very hard.
It's very hard.
So it was quite better doing George Mano Weah
down now.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you are grading the two governments, who will you grade higher past them first?
I will grade George Weah government 100% and this government 10%.
Okay. Thank you so much. Your name again?
I'm James Fire.
James Fire. Thank you. So how is business going?
Thank God, my man, you know now.
So you still a Joseph Bouaga government. So doing George Mano Weah, how was business with you?
Business was alright. No to say this number, no business, but to say one Canadian that I'm playing.
Wow. So are you saying now it's better than Joseph Yuma Bouaga time is higher than President Weah time?
Very, very hard.
All right, fellow Liberians, home and abroad. It's a privilege again for us to be on here, and we are so excited that we have another moment to be somebody we say in front of the camera where we can inform our people relative to what is obtaining in Liberia and the rest of the world. As always, we try to see how best we can squeeze in our schedule time, because especially here in the diaspora, or somebody will say in the Western world, it is not easy with time, because everything we do, time is of essence. And sometimes when you see us doing what we are doing, to even be on for whether be it 30 minutes, 1 hour, or 2 hour, that's a lot of time. I mean, a very, very lot of time that could really help to, put some money in our pockets. But these are the sacrifices that we made. And these are all, exemplary, one would say, display of our patriotism to our nation. That even in while we are in the diaspora, we can still be able to make the sacrifices. So again, we want to say thanks to all of you who have joined us, and those of you who will join us, those of you who are joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on X. Sorry, is now X, on X, and all the other platforms that we are on. We want to say you are welcome. And what we urge you to do this evening, wherever you are joining us from, or this morning, based on your location, or this afternoon, we want for you to hit for us the share button, because the conversation is going to be very interesting. At certain point in time, let's just warn you, it's going to be very, very, somebody will say annoying. It's going to be very, very comic at certain point in time. So you're going to have everything. Everything is going to be, it's going to be comical. It's going to be annoying. Sometimes you want to close your ears. You not even want to see or to hear. But everything spice up the discussion, and that's what we stand for, as people. These are things that actually help to give us a very good balance. Somebody will say the democratic ingredients for our nation. So don't be afraid. We are okay at times. We will get heated at times. It will get very cool. But again, I want to say welcome to all of you. And what I want to say to you is that, uh, those of you that are going to have questions, comments, or concern, the time is going to come where we are going to open the line. Also, we are going to read online some of your comments, some of your concerns, that you have, that you may want to post to us. We are definitely going to give you that particular opportunity. So, again, we want to say welcome to all of you. Uh, we are grateful today to have with us somebody will say, the very first time on this platform, his debut appearance, uh, the chairman of the LPR, which is the Liberia Public Radio. He is the chairman of the LPR Radio and also one of the hosts, one of the bosses there at the LPR radio station. Uh, we are glad to have with us Mr. Samson Brown Toe. Mr. Samson Brown Toe, welcome, sir. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. Thank you very much for having us. Yes, indeed, it is the first time here on your platform, but we've been following you for a very long time, and we thought we asked that we come on and visit you. This is an idea of different ideas, but it's better to exchange ideas from time to time. You don't have to agree with me, but all that I ask is that you give me the opportunity to explain myself, and then perhaps you can state your disagreement. With that kind of process, we're bound to succeed. And because of that, we're very grateful to have us here tonight for this conversation. We're ready, and thank you for the opportunity as well.
Yeah, again, thank you. Most of the time, we invite people of diverse view politically. But most of the people that we invite, they turn us down. The first thing they can say, I mean, we're coming down at that place or hard soon, we can, but I don't know what. But I want to say thank you for, one would say, embracing the storm to be on here, like you said, is an exchange of ideas, and that we can all, have a wonderful time. It's not to denigrate someone, it's not to be able to, pin someone as someone who is negative, or but it's just to find the best for Liberia. So again, I want to say thank you for raising the storm to actually be here on with us. I want us to start like this. Who is Mr. Samson B. Tool? People on this platform want to know you. who you are. Can you just give us, a synopsis of Mr. Samson B to who he is?
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. My name is Samson Toll. I'm from Toll Town, Grand Boston District, Grand County, to be specific, Republic of Liberia. I here in the United States as a engineer, civil engineer, roadway engineer to be specific, which I've practiced for the last 30 some more years, and I'm very proficient in that area. For to be honest with you, and I would say that I will toot my own horn very quickly. I'm also, in the interest of fairness, I'm also a strong supporter of President Wakai, not member of Unity Party, not supporter of Unity Party, but I support President Wakai and his agenda. So I hope we can have that understanding. I'm also married with kids. I have 700 kids. No, I'm just kidding. I have 7 kids. Sadly, though, the oldest boy passed away a few months ago, and we're getting ready now to go to Liberia for his burial. I've been around. I'm a member of Liberian community from time to time. Join whatever occasion it is to promote and make sure that Liberia and Liberians are treated fairly. And so we've been around. That's who we are. I think that's how far I'm going to go.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Bishop Hager, again, I want to welcome you. Thank you. You have the link in your inbox. Check your WhatsApp. Bishop Hager is there. You can join us on here. Thank you so much for that introduction. But let me just welcome our people. I want to welcome Bishop Hager. You are highly welcome. Those of you joining us on the YouTube, I want to welcome all of you that are joining us on the YouTube. Mark Casselson, you are highly welcome. I mean, all of you, the names are just so many that we can't call everything here. But I want to say welcome to all of you and thank you so very kindly for joining us. So let's look at your political journey. I know initially you talked about, a professional journey being an engineer, but let's look at your political journey. Are you a novice in this political thing or you've been following it from back home? I mean, give us a little history of your own, political involvement relative to Liberia politics.
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. And I'm very serious. I consider myself a political guru in the Liberian community because I think I've been around. I started my political, if whatever you want to call it, back in 1977. And as a young man, very young in Monrovia, even younger, I would say people should not allow you to come around. But then when the 79 came around, we consider ourselves a full soldier. Nevertheless, I was not even a high school student, but I consider myself a full soldier and attend progressive gathering when they're ready to give us a message which we consider to be highly uh, accepted at the time. And so we were there for the Rice Riot. We saw that. We also saw the coup that brought in the military coup that happened, brought down the two-way party. We migrated here in the United States at a very young age as well, and follow Eula, follow Folao, follow lots and lots of Liberian community organization, all in the interest of Liberia. And when the war came, we were here in the United States, of course, but we followed the war very intensely, and so we've been around. My political journey has been going fine as far as I'm concerned. Now, let me quickly state here when I never supported President Weah, uh, but I've always believed that from since 2005, all of the election, that's my belief. People can take it or leave it. All of the election that President Waka was involved in, I believe he was cheated. If it wasn't for President Salif, that young man would have been president long before then. Now, I also followed President Weah when he was playing soccer. I also played football, as we call it. And so when I started coaching high school, prestigious high school over there in Canton, the President Weah was at his day in the hero playing football. And the fact that I was from Liberia, people would say, President, Joy Weah, they call him Joy Weah at the time. I said, no, I know of him because when I left, President Weah was still playing round town football. Let's put it that way. But the thing was, when he came to power, I attended his inaugural program in Monrovia, where the young man spoke. As a political greedy person as I am, I attended the inaugural program as a reporter for the LPR.
Okay.
I was at the stadium. I was most likely at maybe 20 feet or so from the podium itself. And he spoke eloquently, of course, but he spoke, his words were so powerful, were so piercing to me that I had my bash, press bash, and all that kind of stuff. But I decided to be a Liberian at that particular time when I said, while he was still speaking during his inaugural, I yelled, 4 more years. That's how much I felt. Because this young man, as far as I'm concerned, when some of us sending money home for people to kill each other, he was there going home. The day President we are getting Monrovia, children will put gun down. People's children will survive that day. And I thought that such a person, nevertheless, I never supported him, but I thought that such a person, once given the opportunity, that indeed he was going to move Liberia forward. Remember now, he's a football player. Now, other people will say, well, football is different from politics and football is different from leadership. What position was he playing? He was at a strategic position on the team that many of the players, including the fans, everybody count on him to win. And he took that over on his shoulder. And for years, when he went to Europe, he didn't carry his mom and father with him. He was there by himself. Not once. Did you read what President Weah was arrested yesterday for driving drunk or what have you? Very disciplined. And I thought that's what we were going to get. Sadly, Mr. Sherry, disappointingly, Mr. Sherry, that didn't pan out. That didn't pan out. And I, on the other hand, on all my platforms, if you go back to do research, I've always blamed his entourage, the folks around him. I believe, and not only him, all of us, because we all knew that sooner or later, President we were going to win the election. And the political elite that has something good for Liberia, they say, why will you not gravitate towards this young man, knowing full well that he's going to win, gravitate towards him and help him move the country forward? What did they do? They push him aside. And here comes the word. When they're capable are not available, the available are capable. However,
Now, let me just come in here. You talk about the political elite, that were supposed to help him. I mean, nurture him and show that the government, is moving, is on par. That to some extent, you felt that they neglected him. Uh, do you think it's a systemic problem or that was his fault? Because sometimes people want to come to help, and other people say, no, you can bring them around. So you think that it was their fault by just laying back because he was the president and they felt that maybe he was not of that particular class? Or what do you think? You think that he pushed them away, or they just decide to go away? What do you think of that?
let me, and I will continue to go back to, and that's why I consider myself a political guru, because I like to associate those few things, and I have the ability to compartmentalize issues as well. Now, President Weah, let me say again, when he was playing soccer, and there's those who I consider to be I'll be very careful with my words here tonight because we're speaking to our brothers and sisters. But those who are considered to be Liberians are not serious people. They will say playing football is not the same thing as leading. And I said, no, playing football is a technical area. You have to have, by the time the ball comes to you, your mindset have to be prepared. You have to already determine what you're going to do. That takes skill. That takes technical knowledge. And that kind of, even though when you come to politics, it's not the same as moving the ball around, but the ideas and balancing things and everything else remain the same. So my point here is that President Weah, I don't know, he doesn't know me, but I don't believe that he's somebody that will push people away because of certain things. Because that's not, when you play football, you don't push other players away. You make sure people gravitate towards you so that you will achieve a specific goal. Now, there were those who I believe joined the bandwagon of President Weah straight there to enrich themselves, straight there to benefit themselves. And as a result of that, I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe that President Weah was intentionally put in the bubble so that those who have ideas, those who can come and help, were driven away because he was in the bubble. And people who put in the bubble were so successful that no one else could have penetrated that. As a result, we saw some sedition. Founding member of CDC were left on the sideline. When I went to Liberia during the inaugural program, 2018, at the night program, I didn't attend it. I was supposed to, but I didn't. I was tired. But the next day, we went somewhere where a lot of sedition. Remember now, sedition, many sedition are also crown people. So we have relatives who are sedition, and they came around. And the question was, why would, when they have the diaspora's inaugural program, when President Weah went there, my understanding, he was not given the privilege to actually interact with the sedition, diaspora sedition, that have knowledge. They were pushed aside, and many of them left. So it is the greedy people, and they are not far around. I mean, they're still around. They're also in Unity Party right now. So I am not saying this is unique to CDC, but if we are not able as Liberians to recognize the leadership talent of certain group of people among us who put their hand up, 5 point something million, and say, I want to lead, we must be able to help them, but we shouldn't help them because we want something in return. We do that, with our CDC, with our Unity Party, we will not succeed, Prince.
So, do you think that over the period, thank you for that extensive, explanation, especially as it relates to your own knowledge, in politics. But do you think from the very initial or looking at our border politics, do you think the diaspora community, to some extent, that they've been an overlook or maybe underrepresented, or what do you think of the diaspora community? Because like you said, most of these people over the period, they have gotten the opportunity, to add on to their knowledge and etc. And you think that they will help back home. So do you think they've been underrepresented in all of the government or overrepresented, or what do you think of this, sir?
Yeah, thank you. I think quite recently, maybe a year or so ago, the former U.S. ambassador to Liberia told the Liberians, and he stated, I'm just paraphrasing now, all your trouble always come from abroad. There are those of us, many of us here in a diaspora, will leave from here and go to Liberia. Hmm? And disrespect the police. The thing you do right now, if I get outside right now in Sacramento, thing that people do, Liberian leave and go to Monrovia, the thing they do to the police, if I go do it when I was sleeping in jail tonight, no question, nobody will help me. I'm just giving you a common example. So there are people who, don't get me wrong, highly educated Liberians. They are very proficient in whatever it is they want to do. But when they get to Liberia, for some reason, that is still beyond me. When they get to Liberia, when President Weah call people up, say, I need your help. When President Baka call people and say, I need your help. These people come in and they consider those positions as entitlement. They consider They consider that as entitled position. As a result, they misbehave, in my opinion, misbehave. And here's the thing here now. Let's be honest. Whether I be President Waka, whether I be President Weah, it's a teamwork. And this is why people like President Weah who believe in team performance suffer. Because it's a teamwork, the team concept. You give me the ball, I will score. But let the ball come from one person to another. Let us all work together. That was missing. The infighting among themselves, who will get closer to President Weah or who will get closer to President Baka. You saw the real, and I say I'm a strong supporter of President Baka. You saw the yellow machine issue. Well, how can you bring a yellow machine in a country without the knowledge, foreknowledge of the public work ministry? Those who are going to be responsible, the final utilization process, going to go through public work ministry. But you bring in yellow machine, you're going to a article retreat and having a video without those people who are going to be the end user, without their knowledge. And you think you're going to be successful? This is what we have praised. So it's not like the Liberians are there to help. Many of them go and try to seek their own interest.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Again, fellow Liberians, we are here today and we have our special guest, Mr. Samson Brown Toll. He is the board chair of the Liberian Public Radio and also a very strong supporter of Mr. Joseph Numa Boyka. Like he said, he's not part of the Unity Party, but he admire and support the agenda of Mr. Joseph Numa Boyka. So we're going to be having a very lengthy conversation. We are also privileged to be joined by Bishop Hager, who also support, the rescue mission. A very, very committed and very, very strong, one would say, fanatic of the Unity Party. He's a big brother. He's one who also represents, one would say, spiritually speaking and also physically speaking, represent gods on earth. These are mediator between the Most High and men, interceding on behalf of men and also on behalf of our country. We are grateful. He's not a stranger here, but for tonight, we're going to treat him as one. We'll haul his legs and pull him. He's our father, our big brother. We can get him out and behind the scene. But I want to say welcome to you, Bishop Hager. How are you, sir?
Well, thank you very much. And I really want to say, Mr. Sampson, appreciate you have been watching your shows, your talk show. And I also believe that you have something very positive to contribute towards Liberia. And I really was drawn to this because of some of the point you were laying down. And if you allow me, Mr. Facilitator, you will have to make a little input in what Mr. Sampson said.
Definitely. You have the time within the next 2 minutes. You can make that point. It's just that let me just say this. We'll be giving Mr. To, he will be giving the exclusive right, to sometimes inject because he is our guest here. For you, pa, I can, you, my pa, I can hold your legs, pull you, we can rumble and do everything. But yeah, no problem. You have the time. Go ahead, sir. 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sampson. I believe what you said actually focus on where we are as a nation, as a people. You make mention of the resiliency you saw in Mr. President George Weah during his speech, and we all as Liberians, and I wanted to be emphatically clear that if you ask every Liberian, we love George Weah. He was and remains one of the most celebrated Liberians around the world. And he contributed towards the psychological, emotional satisfaction of Liberian during the difficult days of our civil crisis. People look to him for hope. But when it comes to the governance of our nation, I've always maintained.
Wow. Bishop, what's going on? The light going off?
President, we administration is out, but it's still harmonizing people, people internet.
Well, okay. Well, Bishop will be with us. I think it's just a technical glitch he's having from his end, but he will definitely, be with us. Now, Mr. Toll, I want us to enter into, somebody would say, the crust of the issue, the main ingredient of the issue. We want to enter into it. And again, Liberian, let me just warn you, brace yourself, put on your seatbelt. It's going to be hot at a certain point in time, it's going to be very, very annoying. But again, this is what we do for the sake of Mama Liberia. So get ready. We're about to get on a bumpy road, and it's going to be nice. Uh, Mr. Toll, for the past 6 years in opposition, the Unity Party, led by Mr. Joseph Nyuma Boeka, fought vigorously. I mean, with all of the propaganda you can ever think about, from people, getting, sick, to blaming President Weah, up to, somebody will say somebody not eating, everything was on the shoulder of His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Weah, to even make him to look like he's done nothing in the country, even though he just took over 6 years, and everything was placed on him from roads. He ain't doing nothing about road. He ain't doing nothing about this. He ain't doing nothing about that. And all of the propaganda was placed on His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Weah, even though we know that the Unity Party government was the first post-war government that was giving all of the support and etc. But we saw that after they left power after 12 years and President Weah became the president, all of the propaganda, I mean, they put their best together and they blame President Weah for everything. But before going there, let me just welcome back Bishop Hager. Bishop Hager, welcome back. We experienced some technical glitches from your end.
Yeah. So somebody called me to interrupt this. I'm using my phone. So I was
Oh, okay.
saying to Samson, we all love George Weah, and we are connected to him emotionally because during the time of our civil crisis, when Liberians were really desperate for a Messiah, George Weah stood up to be the one, and many Liberians are connected to him emotionally. But when it comes to leadership, when it comes to really governance, for me personally, when you just look and do a systematic analysis of the man George Weah, I really do not believe that he had the conviction, he had the desire, he was willing to go into what it takes to be a leader of a whole nation. I will lay out my points, okay? In 2005, when he lost the election, you have your own analysis. You said he was cheated. I mean, our institution said election commission who announcing a president in 2017 was the same election commission that said he lost. So we can have two standard. Election commission said at that time that he lost to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Now, in 2011, we see George Weah now giving up the Senate bearership to Winston Totman. There you see kind of a fluctuation in conviction that he believed in himself, that he was not the person uh, in leadership. Now, I would quote what I say, couple interview that George Weah did, President George Weah, His Excellency. One interview he did, when they generally asked him, he said in an interview again, "May you go and play?" He said, "Oh, you asked Nathaniel McGee." So at that particular point, I understood that the whole government of CDC was being controlled behind the scene by people who George we have committed to doing it. That he was just in a laid-back position and not taking the initiative as a president. The president needs to be responsible for everything that takes place in the country. So many reports came of corruption, drugs manipulation. There was no decisive decision taken, even at the detriment of your friend. They say, tomorrow, if the country go back, they're not going to go to Nathaniel McGee. Anything I sport, they're not going to say Nathaniel McGee. Sport is George we need our on the line. But what happened?
Thank you, Bishop. Thank you so much. We'll
Prince,
come back to you.
may I respond to the
Yeah,
bishop?
definitely.
Yeah,
Before we go to the question I want to ask you, you can
yeah,
respond, sir.
yeah. I find myself in a very difficult situation right now because I don't want to sound like somebody who is defending President Weah and his administration. However, the fact that we have some knowledge, we must be truthful, even if it means that we sound like a defender or what have you. But we must be truthful. Bishop, thank you for that statement. President Weah, I believe, when he called people to be part of the process as a Liberian, I think we need to elevate ourselves. Yes, President Weah, the buck stopped with President Weah, but for Christ's sake, he alone cannot run a government. And so if he employs somebody who perhaps he had trust in, and this person is somehow not living up to his trust that he put in that person, yeah, you can say, why don't he fire that person who is leading? But what if it is not his nature? That's one thing. Second, I agree. I agree. Then that means, okay. Then what's the leadership? We can discuss that. But why is it that we ourselves as Liberians, President Weah is an individual, he's the head, but we ourselves as Liberians, when called upon to do certain job, those positions, those jobs should be recognized as something that is of a privilege. It's not entitlement. So if somebody who is inept feel entitled, then I think for us to wrap, and that's the thing that I always disagree on my own platform with people who try to say President Waka should be held responsible. I say yes, but there are things we ourselves need to be responsible for. You spoke about Tubman earlier. What I do know from about Tubman issue, and that's directly from Moluba Molu, that when President Weah, when they brought Tubman in, according to Moluba Molu, that he said, President Weah told them, you guys want me to go second, and I'm paraphrasing it, to go second to Tubman. You don't think I'm able to do it? And according to Moluba Molu, President Weah shared here, that means he was not somebody willing to give up. So it's not like he coming in, oh, I can't make it, you bring somebody else. It wasn't like that. But the fact that and I would say again, perhaps, and I'm using the word perhaps now, that he respect the rules. And according to the party agenda, whatever it is, they said they want to bring somebody else in. But President Weah, according to Moluba Molu, that didn't happen easily. So I just want to...
Let me just come in with this before you continue, Mr. Toll. Like you rightly said, the party has its own, internal democratic process where people, are elected during the convention to either serve as stand-up bearer, etc., etc. And that particular process that brought on board Winston Tubman was done through a democratic process. We went for our convention, that is before, the election, where there was election. And in that particular election, Winston Tubman became the stand-up bearer of the party. So it was not just that he was handpicked and say, so it was through the democratic process. So that's why, people need to understand. And that's the reason why the CDC will always boast of that despite of what people think or say about us, we always want for the democratic process to, to be followed through. And this is one thing we always thank His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah for, that he's not that kind of authoritarian leader that we want to say, I must make the decision, I must control, it must be my will. He always gave the opportunity, for the party can go through, the regular democratic process. So I just, want to say it here for the record. But back to the question that I was asking you. So we saw that in the period of 6 years.
I need a comment if you allow me.
Yeah, we'll come back to you, but let's just give. So in the process of 6 years, we saw a lot of criticism, we saw a lot of condemnation, and we saw a vigorous and very, very, one would say, a very, very intense propaganda that was being put together by the Unity Party from the issue of, 3 boys. President Weah took their kidney and put it in bag, and you were passing around with A, to the extent of, somebody dying, all these kind of things. Do you think, Mr. Toll, the propaganda that was being heaped on the CDC by other fanatics of the Unity Party, or maybe Mr. Boyka himself, In your own fair assessment, do you think that those propaganda that was being heaped from the Liberian people suffering to this no road to data and putting everything on President Weah, do you think it was a fair assessment and fair propaganda by the opposition against the CDC-led government, sir?
I will speak to it a little bit. All I can say on that, Prince, is that Unity Party took it right from your playbook, from CDC playbook, and then they just decided to amplify it. So I mean, they just decided to improve your system that you brought in terms of criticism. And Unity Party just decided we're going to improve on it and double down on it. Now, as far as the other issue with medical this and this, what have you, those are not areas that I'm willing to dive in, because for me those are childish game. Those are childish game. If God say, President, we are time that I don't even want to touch that. But let me say this: when it comes to the propaganda, the same thing happening right now in Unity Party as well. The folks that are supposed to be the mouthpiece for the party or for this administration, they are not doing the right thing. I give you an example. When President Weah started with I'm an engineer, roadway engineer, and I say I'm very proficient in that. I'm one of the best. I would say so. If anybody want to dare me, let them bring it on, and we'll take it. However, let me say this. Let me tell you this. When President Weah decided to do Dole Community project, he drove that money. It was raining. And the car, his convoy stopped in a pothole. But because of the water situation, they decided to pass. That's how much I follow it. I'm just giving you an example. They decided to pass. He got down. And he inspected the area. The next thing we knew, they were building the Dole Community project to build a Dole Community road. Now, the construction and the engineering process were flawed, as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was bad. You don't do these kinds of construction in the rainy season, and it was being done in rain. So that's engineering process. I'm not going about it. Those who were responsible. Now, this is where I say I have the ability to compartmentalize things. President, we have come out with a policy. We're going to build Dole Community. Those who are supposed to carry the policy, they should have gone to Dole Community and talk to the community people, the community leader. Why is it that President, we are bringing project here, bringing road to your community instead of taking it somewhere in Cloudtown or taking it to Nuclear? And explain to the people and let the people understand of taking importance. Taking being part of the project. So they would take control of the project. They would take ownership of the project. They didn't do that. They did not do that. They just built it and they started glorifying, oh, President. No. After the process, when they went to open the road, President Weah made an interesting statement, and the video I did. He said, I was here yesterday in my car. You ain't see me. You were playing football over there, but you ain't see me. I saw one bike, and one man had 3 children, small children, and the man on one bike. I said, what are you doing? Put them down. Why are you ride one bike with the small children there? Go and watch the video. It's there. And the people are clapping. And he said one other interesting thing. He said that road will not put down, that for your children not to walk in the mud. This is not a road for you to bring mechanic shop and start bringing mechanic and things like that. It simply indicates to me that the information process was not there. What happened now? Go to Dole Community. They see mechanic shop that President Weah was trying to avoid. Mechanic shop now take over the whole place. It is now useless, pretty much. I'll give you another example. They decided to do Ralphie Highway. Beautiful project. Our own friend, Sekou Kalasco. And I like that because he goes and bring these things and I can see the mistake as an engineer. And I use it on my show. So he went in and started saying how beautiful the project. You are not an engineer. Do you even understand when they say curve? Do you understand when they say elevation? Do you understand when they say drainage system? You don't. But because he's close to President Weah, public decided for him to be the spokesperson. And United Party were watching, and they knew he was going to make mistake. And when they grabbed those things, like I said, when they grabbed those things that you people were doing, CDC was doing, that was mistake, full of mistake, on false error. United Party took that and improved on it and magnified on it and just make it their own. So yes, I agree.
Yeah.
The idea of these propaganda and things, but that's Liberia. Who was your chief propagandist? Was it not Eugene? What's his name? Eugene Fagon. Where is Eugene Fagon now? He gone with the binder for the error from CDC. He took it to the Unity Party. That the binder now they're using small. So Prince.
So Mr. Todd, before we go to Bishop Hager, to just make a very quick, a correction here. Sekou Kalasco Diamaro was never the spokesperson for the Ministry of Public Works, especially on that particular.
That's not what I claim. I said they deferred to him. They deferred to him because there was nobody. There was nobody when he made that. There was nobody from public.
No, but the Ministry of Public Work has our own team. I mean, they have their own spokesperson and etc. From the angle of, one would say, maybe a social media person who also disseminate the information relative to government development. So he was just projecting, what the government were doing in that particular area. Like you rightly said, I agree with you. I would not be, so ignorant to say, or so adamant to say, well, he was right. He has the knowledge. He is not a technician. But what he was doing was to provide the raw information. I mean, from a perspective, let's say one would say from a partisan perspective, providing the information how good it is for that particular project to be erected. So these are just some of the
speak to what that's
the erection that we want to make. But everybody talk, especially when something has to do with development on certain group of people. I don't think it is restrictive that is the only people who will talk on this must be maybe the engineer or so. Anybody can take. I was there too. I have a video of me being on that role, saying what I had to say, from just a broader perspective, how that role was going to be very instrumental in, pushing development, in enhancing the people's life, etc. Yeah, it's so fine, etc. So he's not a technician. But let's go to Bishop Hager. Bishop Hager, you're listening to Chairman Toll. He explained extensively. Let's hear from you relative to the issue of the propaganda that was being spewed out there by the Unity Party, to the extent they said something which was very, very much insane, so to speak, because nobody would take any kidney and put it in bag and just be passing it around with A and etc. But let's hear from you, sir. What do you make of it? Do you think it was a fair one from the Unity Party?
No, thank you, Brother Prince, Sheriff. I know you very educated, and you understand the issue of democracy. Democracy, especially when it comes to winning the electorate. You have to.
I'm sorry.
This is very, very important for us to understand this. Propaganda is part of the democratic culture. It is done all owing all democracy. Even in America, the Democratic Party have their own propaganda machine. The Republican have their own propaganda machine. Now, if you're able to convince the electorate that what you are saying is true, they will vote for you. It doesn't mean that it is law and gospel. The Unity Party was able to learn their mistakes. In 2017, after spending 12 years,
so Bishop, before you go ahead, so are you saying that lies,
allow me to learn.
I'm coming. Let me just add this so that you can learn. So are you saying that lies, lies,
it's not lies,
innuendos, everything is accepted in our society, or in our body politics?
Prince, I came on this show to contribute. I follow you. It's not lie. Propaganda is part of the democratic culture. Right now, CDC and other political parties using propaganda against the Unity Party. That's how it is. It is, if they can influence the electorate in 2029, the electorate by that, it is, they will be elected into office. So don't come here and cry about propaganda.
So
That's
what is
part
that
of the
propaganda,
democratic
or
culture.
what is that lie you think that the CDC is using? Because you said the CDC is using it also against, the current government.
When
Can you point out
CDC,
one?
so many times during the campaign, CDC, there was all the news that Joseph Walker have died, that they were hiding him, he have died, that he was too
No, the
old.
CDC at no point in time,
No,
Bishop,
I'm
the
saying,
CDC at no point in time ever came up with such a statement. The CDC as a political institution. So I think that information,
okay,
to
as
some
the
extent,
United
is
Party, as a
inaccurate.
political institution, saying that the CDC was responsible for the 3 boys' death.
Oh yeah, yes sir, yes sir,
Okay, you
yes sir.
gotta give it to
Yeah.
me. You gotta give
Yeah,
it to
yeah,
me.
we will do. So let's just give
Please.
you a 30 second to learn on this so that we can go to Chairman
So,
Toll. Yeah, Lens.
my point is, Liberia as a society is like 2 men trying to fight with 1 woman. If you can give the woman enough, what we call in Liberia, rhetoric, and they believe you, they vote for you. That's how it goes. So don't, if the other man gave the woman enough rhetoric and convince them, the woman will be with you. So if
Thank
you
you,
can
sir.
come back and come with enough rhetoric, they will vote for you tomorrow. So that's how it is.
Thank,
That's
thank
the
you.
beauty of democracy.
Okay, thank you so much. It is, I don't know, it is sad for me listening to this from you, because I believe that our politics should be based on a factual dissemination of information, knowing very well where
Most
we
of
are
the things you
from,
say here not
especially
true.
with
Most
the
of the
war
allegations you
and
say here,
etc. Yeah,
Prince
let me
Jerry,
let me let me
I
let
can
me learn,
question
sir.
them.
Let me
They are
learn,
not true,
Bishop.
Prince. Most of your
Yeah, let me
allegations are
let me
not
learn,
true.
Bishop.
So
Let me
you're not in
learn.
the moral,
So
you're not in
so
the
I
moral
believe,
condition to say that.
come Bishop. Yeah, Bishop, let me learn. So I believe that what we should be encouraging is factual information,
Let's
and not
start with
just
you.
giving
Let's
this
start with
kind of
you. Let's start
information
with you.
that this thing happened and
Let
that
it
thing happened,
start
and
with
for
you,
you to
Prince.
say,
Let
that
it start
it
with
is
you.
okay.
Do you
People
know how
can
many
lie, then I
misinformation you
think
have spread
it is not
on your
fair. It
show
is not fair
against
on
Boaga
the
and,
electorate.
and the
But again,
Unity Party? Do you know
that
how
is your
many
thought. I respect that.
misinformation?
But thank you, Bishop. Thank you. Let's go
No,
to
you have
Mr.
shared a
Two.
lot
Thank
of
you. Let
misinformation here.
let
So you're not in
yeah.
the moral right to say it.
Okay, no problem. But let's go to Mr. To. So I want us to dive straightly into what we are supposed to be discussing. Like I said, we're looking at the rule of law. Honor His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Weah, there were challenges. I'm not going to say that there weren't any, challenges. There were challenges. But we saw a steady progress of the government trying to encourage the rule of law, trying to ensure that the rule of law becomes the hallmark of our society, where we saw an excellent demonstration on the part of the Liberian National Police, something that has never happened in our history, where the police, of the demonstration, the famous, June 7th demonstration, where the police was able to work with the demonstrator to the extent of even providing food and ensuring that each demonstrator is protected in the group. They are protected, their rights are respected, and etc. etc. Honor His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Weah, we saw a very reduced amount of what we refer to as police brutality. Yes, there were skirmishes around. I'm not going to say there weren't skirmishes. There were skirmishes around. And when you even look at the MCC report, under the leadership of His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Weah, when you look at the MCC report clearly, gave us a kind of, a pat on the back, especially the Weah-led administration, that indeed we did exceptionally well. I mean, as people collectively now, we all did well. We all helped the government to ensure that we can secure that particular, point. So under the Weah-led administration, we saw the rule of law, was great, excellent. Yeah, there were challenges, but the grading that was given to us was excellent. Under this particular administration, Chairman Tool, Mr. Samson Brown Tool, the rule of law. Let's hear your assessment relative to the rule of law. I mean, taking into consideration what happened in the King Jaw massacre, taking into consideration what happened to our brother Joshua, that was brutally, beaten by members of the Unity Party. Today, some of whom are in the government and they are proudly boasting of recent. We saw what happened to Moluba Matthew, a Liberian who had some mental problem. The police went to his place and he was shot 8 times, and etc. etc. There have been tons of I recall reports relative to police brutality. Let's hear from you on the issue of rule of law and police brutality. Let's hear from you. So, what is your own assessment of this government that you support, or we should say the individual that you support in the government, because he is the head of government? So, therefore, one way or the other, I would say you support the government. Let's hear from you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. Appreciate that. Let me first make some sort of a disclaimer here. I am not here as a spokesperson for this government. They don't know me. I don't know them. I only know a few people in the government, and the people that I know in the government, they don't have no power to give me job or anything like that. But I do, on a very serious note, I do believe and respect the president, President Waka. Now, as I stated earlier, I'm not here to be a CDC defender because CDC and myself, we don't get along well. We know each other well. We don't get along well. So I'm not here to be a CDC defender, but I'll be truthful. On Patrice Sudu, the former IG of the police, there were two incidents that I took out of Patrice Sudu, and I thought I wish this guy we could have at least 5, 6, 7 people like Patrice Sudu in George Weah government, in President Weah government. Sorry for calling him former President Weah government. Patrice Sudu, the very first time I saw him, all dressed, well dressed in his uniform as the chief. It was raining, and he stopped a car and went in the center of the road to direct traffic to take the guy who was in the rain, a policeman who was in the rain, directing traffic, telling him to go take a break. That's leadership. He went there and was directing traffic while it was raining. That's one. There was another incident about the demonstration, I believe a June 7th demonstration. And the police were preparing themselves to go at the demonstration site. And he noticed a guy carrying a sidearm. And he said, "Where are you going with that thing?" We said, "Demonstration, you carrying gun. Where you carrying gun?" In fact, you're out of the program. The video are there. If I'm making it up, go and look it up. That is how you engage. Okay? So those are things that I believe. I'm not a security analyst or say I'm going to do this and that. Those are things I believe that perhaps we can take one or two from President Weah administration. However, it was under President Weah administration that we saw the proliferation of generals, ex-fighters being brought into the government security apparatus. On a President Weah administration, we saw former Mayor Jefferson Kochi saying he's going to retrieve his people from the enemy behind enemy lines. Videos are there. On a President Weah, we saw Madame Ure almost got killed. And there was no statement addressed to made possible, whatever it is, for the president to make no kind of address. On a President Weah, we saw that young man brutalized up there in Mama Point around the American Embassy area. Now, are those things that we're going to now go and blame on President Weah? No, I would say no. These things, and they are still happening today in this government, President Waka administration. We saw people tabbing people because of drug offense. Video tabbing like a war on this administration. We saw police fighting police. We saw police and immigration fighting. We saw police and other security personnel fighting under this administration. Now, should we say that this administration is security or police or brutality or what have you? I will not go that far. Now, if I want to tie all of this around any of these leaders, their inability to address the root cause of all of these problems, we're just coming from war. There are people that are living in Liberia right now that saw their mother and their father being killed right before their own eyes. They're still there in Liberia. There are those in Liberia right now, even in some government position, that participated fully into the war. In fact, the question then, how did they even get there? Did they get one money enjoying themselves? Oh, today I'm going for a war. Why are these leaders refusing to address these issues? And you expect that this country will just continue to move smoothly until what I be President Weah, what I be President Wakai, that the root cause of these things must be addressed. We have not done that. We talk about war crime. What was the last time you heard war crime issue being brought up? It's when it come up when the political season get hot, we bring that up. And that's what Prince Johnson, the late Prince Johnson used to say, every time you get in trouble, then war crime. It says these are the kinds of issues. It is not like the President Weah or President Waka. Yes, the man, President Weah. Let's go back to President Weah. When people were killing each other in Monrovia, he used to leave from his comfort zone, to come to Liberia. In fact, there's a tape over there where his wife used to say, don't go. The place is danger. He said, I will be there. That a man now, when he become president now, you will say, you'll go kill people? Or President Wakai, the man who have always been on the side of peace, will now open his government up to say, go and do whatever you want to do, police? No.
Mr. Toll, I want to ask you this question, right? And thank you so much for the way you outline it. We see in this government, like you said, you don't believe that President Boeka will go to the extent of telling police they'll go and do this or go and do that. But we take the first incident, what happened in Kinjo. That was not something that happened overnight to say, well, it happened at night. We don't know those who committed the act. These were police officers that were assigned there, committed those acts. And as we speak today, there has been no investigation launched in that particular incident to bring to book, those who were involved into it. The last time we saw a communication from the Ministry of Justice, to be specific, from Councillor Osford Twist signing it, that the family will receive $5,000. They'll get them 5,000 and get them some bag of rice. And to the extent that Mr. Boyka, who are still long in government, he have a very vast knowledge based on his experience, in previous government that he have worked, and know how these things have accumulated, or how those things accumulated into where we find ourselves. Into the war where other people felt that they were being taken advantage of, and there were no kind of system to address the brutality that was meted against them. And the best way that they could do it was to go into the bush. So he understands that because he is from the system. He understands the system more than any other person. Don't you think that that was a defining moment where President Boyka could say, look, this cannot happen under my watch. So we must commission, an investigation into this particular massacre that went on in Kinjo. Don't you think that he slipped on that? That was a slip on his part, even if he was not there in person to order it, or he being the head of state, and the chief administrator of government. Don't you think that that was a slip on his part of just, playing low to it?
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. Again, I'm not a spokesman for President Baka. I'm not a spokesman for Unity Party, who they and myself, we don't even get along anyway, because I believe the other thing about Unity Party, other than but I believe in the rest agenda. I believe in President Baka leadership. Now, let me say, I'm not trying to excuse any of those things. Even if a Liberian fly die, let alone human being, we must, all of us, feel the pain, because that's our countrymen. We cannot go to Guinea to borrow security personnel to come and help us to police our street. We have to use Liberians. So if there's an issue that perhaps the citizens themselves feel that the police are being heavy-handed, I am not. I'm not too sure that I can sit here and say why the President Baka didn't do this. Yeah, well, of course I can speculate. I'm the chief of speculators. I'm the chief of being most ridiculous. I can say that, but then it is not sincere. I don't know the inner working with the president and his people. And that's what I keep saying. When you are asked to be something, be that what you can be. Be honest and do it well. President Bakai, like President Weah, he cannot be tell police director in public, they want you, you can't do that. That's not what he's supposed to do. He asked you to do his job. Now, maybe what you just addressed, and that's true because myself, I've been reading about it. So maybe there's some other conversation that is happening behind the scene that we don't know about. But I'm not excusing anything. The government of the Republic of Liberia, it is their job to protect lives. It doesn't matter whether it's CDC live or Unity Party lives. It's a Liberian life. They will protect life and property of Liberian, no matter what. So we cannot and we will not excuse anybody. However, I'm hoping that whatever it is that happened in King George, that if the people of the area, the community of the areas still feel that these things has not been resolved, the government must find reason to make sure these things are resolved.
So, thank you. So, under His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah, we saw the rule of law that collectively, and I will give it up to all of us Liberians, including you. I mean, all of us, we all were talking. And we saw a very, very good record as it relates to the rule of law, where the MCC report, came in. We also saw another report from the African Journal where, they praised Liberia path as it relates to, the rule of law. But when you look at this MCC report, which is very key because most international institutions, organizations will use this report to be able to assess Liberia or even for investment purpose and etc. etc. With this dismal performance, I mean, on the part of this particular government led by President Bueka, do you think this has the propensity to discourage whether be investors, I mean, Liberians and etc. etc. We saw what happened with one of our sister, one Siane, who left. She's a Liberian Canadian who went to Liberia and she was murdered in her own home and burned. Up to today, we are yet to know what happened, and the cases are just so many. If you were to advise this government, I mean, based on this report, this decimal performance, we came from 100 and now we are at 44, especially in the rule of law and with everything that is happening, like you mentioned, we've seen police fighting police, police fighting army, army fighting police, and etc. etc. If you are to advise this particular government, taking into consideration, investment and etc. etc., what will you say considering this decimal report? What will you say to the government? What will you say to President Bueka that you support, and you want to see him succeed?
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. Again, I'm not here to defend. I'm not here to excuse. I'm here to be truthful. Let me say again, as a Liberian, let's look at the rule of law area. Yes, President Bueka is ahead. The buck stopped with President Bueka. But he designated people to oversee the area. Then you would say, but then what happened? Why his leadership is weak in that? No, not quite. These are individuals that are carrying out a specific task. I don't know the inner working. And I'm just speculating at this point. Perhaps they also recognize that they are failing. And perhaps the president have engaged in conversation. What's going on here? And perhaps the Liberians themselves are now saying, the leaders in those areas, I say, okay, we will do our best to improve. There's always room to improve. Let us don't politicize these things. You just asked that question. You just asked question earlier. How come Unity Party they bring out the propaganda in area and what have you? Because when they were running against you, they politicized a lot of stuff you did, and you're doing the same thing, which is no big deal. But I, on the other hand, okay, when I come to these, if it was my own show right now, you know, I'll tell you to go sue us. Do whatever you want, go sue. But I cannot do that here because you are seeking a specific answer, and I'll do my best. Now, the rule of law stuff that you just showed is reflecting on all of us, CDC, Unity Party, as long we're Liberians. That means we're not doing good overall. Of course, it's under the leadership of President Bakai. I respect that and I agree with her. However, we ourselves must take responsibility of our own actions sometimes. We cannot just continue to say these are the people that are responsible and therefore X, Y, and Z. Okay? So I think President Bakai, yes, we agree. Sometimes things happen. We agree. He would, and I will hold him responsible as well. He's my president. He's the father of the nation. But there are times that the president will make some statement, and many people will take that out of context completely. But we will do our best. So, Mr. Sherry, this is if it is to be embarrassed, we all should be embarrassed. If it's to be ashamed, we all should be ashamed.
Mr. To, one would say that you are trying to invade the question. You're trying to escape from the answer. Why it is true that we agree that collectively, it is a collective effort, but you and I do not control the police. We do not appoint these people like the justice minister and etc. The last time we heard the justice minister at the MICA, that is the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, Tourism briefing, telling us that the country is fastly, deteriorating, especially as it relates to mob violence and etc. etc. So with all these things that are happening, I mean, signs from individual within the government telling us about the collapse and etc. Why is it that this man that you so cherish, that you want him to succeed, that you want for him to transform this country? One would say, why are you not, brave enough, if one would say brave enough, or why are you not sincere enough, if somebody will use that word, or why are you not honest enough to look at somebody whom you love and say, look, Mr. Bueka, we are messing up on this. The responsibility is up to you to ensure that this rule of law, is fixed. You can do it and you can do it. So why are you just, somebody will say sugarcoating it. You want to whitewash it. You want to put this man who you so love under the bus, and you don't want to look at his face and say, look, Mr. Boyka, this is the issue. And somebody will argue also that you should be in the best position to tell him, because you are not in the pocket of anybody, not even in the pocket of the government. You are an independent person. You are not afraid. Somebody will not come to your window and knock your window and say, oh, are you the one who talking down there? You say, President Bueka, you are in a very independent space. And you who love the man, you who are, so dear to him, or he's so dear to you, you should be able to look in his face and tell him that, look, I love you, but this is not happening. So why are you escaping? Why are you trying to sugarcoat it? Why are you pushing the question? Why are you evading? Why can't you look at this man and say what is right for the benefit of the country? How do you respond to that, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. It's very easy. I am not evading anything. I'm trying to be as honest as possible. I'm simply saying to you here that President Bakai didn't come to the position through the back door. He was duly elected. And Liberian respect his leadership style. And Liberian agreed with him when he was campaigning, told us exactly what he's going to do. Now, what you're asking me to do here is to say, Mr. Bakai, your government is not functioning the way it's. Who am I? What gives me the moral authority to say that to the president of the nation? What gave me the moral authority to say that to the president under whose leadership millions and millions and millions of Liberians will wake up tomorrow morning. Yes, we can question. We will criticize, but we will do so with responsibility. We will criticize, and we must criticize with respect. Mr. Sharif, I'm not here for kumbaya here. I will be truthful with you and your audience. And to say that, yes, indeed, there are challenges in this government, and we will point those out. But the president and his people are doing whatever it is to make sure that these things get done properly. So I will agree with you that there are certain areas where this government seem to be falling short. I will agree with you. I'll be the first to say. But they also have the ability to pick up. When you fall, they understand when you fall, you get up. That's what we ask them to do. We're not asking them to just wave a one magic wand, everything come out.
So, Mr. Toku, one deduce, or just, one would say, subjectively say that one of the area that you think that they are feeling is in the area of the rule of law. Could we just, after saying everything you say, you are not in the position and etc., could we just, deduct that and say
And
one of the area?
You want me to answer your subjective question here? I can't do that. I can't help you with that.
Okay. Well, fellow Liberians who met abroad, we are here with the liberal. We are here with Mr. Samson B too, the chairman of the Liberian Public, Radio, the board chair himself. We are here with him. It is a very, very interesting time. I want to say to all of us, welcome in the comment section. At a certain point in time, we'll go in the comment section to start to take your question, your answers, and your suggestion. We'll start to take it. So those of you who, are in the comment section, just keep it as it is. We will, to some extent, go there and see how best we can be able to bring the question. Let's go to the issue of job creation, Mr. Toe. You are one person who is very keen when it comes to the issue of job creation. Liberians must be able to, some extent, be independent. And with job creation, it creates some level of independence. It helps to stimulate the economy. You working, you can buy from people, the cash go on, circular flow, and etc., etc. This government, even though, like you rightly said, and that's a disclaimer, you are not speaking on behalf of the government, neither are you a partisan of the Unity Party, but you love Mr. Weah, who is the head. So one would say, by default, some kind of way, some kind of how, you can still be connected to the, to the people. But anyway, that is an argument for another day. But the government, when they were in opposition, argued that the issue of job creation is very critical. In fact, they condemned the previous government. Now that this government has taken over, we have even seen that unemployment have quadrupled. Example, those that were even doing what we call self-employed work, these motorists and other stuff like that, about 1,000 plus of them, they were denied of their livelihood. And it's part of it's unemployment. They were denied of their livelihood. We saw the government that President Weah preside over, putting down almost 700 persons from the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs. We saw the MCC, the Youth Empowerment Program at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. They had this particular cleaning project where people will be assigned under the regime of His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah. People will be assigned on the bridges. They call it bridge and waterway, cleaning the place and etc. Our mothers were sweeping the street. When this government took over, all of that opportunity was taken from Liberians, creating a high burden of unemployment. Let's come to you, sir. Your own fair analysis, as an independent, as a liberal, as one who support this government. And in supporting the government, supporting this president, true talking is also part of it, so that he can learn from it, so that he can know that, look, this man support me, and he is, speaking from a sincere standpoint, not from a partisan standpoint. I was our party will protect it, this, that.
What do you say on the issue of unemployment in your own mind? You have thousands of people who call you on a daily basis. This gone season, I know at some point in time your phone was almost like dying because of the amount of calls that you are receiving from back home. What can you say about the issue of unemployment?
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. Again, we will try to be truthful here as well. Unemployment issue in Liberia, it is not unique to this president and to this government. There has been occurring stuff from time to time. Now, let me say this here very quickly, Mr. Sherry. Once again, I'm not here representing anybody. I represent myself. I will say what I want to say. I say, well, the only thing I should do once I look at the camera, I must make sure that I'm very truthful. So, as far as the job of creating job for our brothers and sisters, I think this government, from my perspective, perhaps need to do more from where I stand. Now, from where I stand in Sacramento, is that the same way they stand over there in the heat, in mosquito infested area? No. So we have to be sincere sometimes. I can sit here in my own comfort zone in Sacramento. Oh, they're not creating job. My my family member, they're calling me every day because no job. Why is there no job? What happened? I'm not a money person. I'm not somebody who works in finances. I'm an engineer. However, from what I know, like I said, I'm the best. Anybody who disagree with me that I'm the best engineer, railway engineer, bring it on, and we will dispute that. We don't have to go in the boxing ring. We just go on the paper and see what you have, and we see what I have. So I'm not going to hide myself. But let me say this to you. Right now, I just delivered another project here. They're gonna start construction very shortly. The other big project we delivered, they're doing construction. That's a brief project. We're just getting onto the new one. But the point here is this: in this country, one of the faster way that these local communities create jobs are roads, and President Baga understood that, and that's why he said, "Roll, roll, rolls." However, and again, those who are taxed to implement that policy are the people that we're supposed to be holding responsible. You got a project, for example. Let's take Karata to Banga. You're gonna widen the road. You're gonna improve the road. Why are you bringing people from Italy to do the design? Why are you bringing Chinese to do the work? Even if they are the most expert in building roads, why can you not allow Liberia to fail? We must be allowed to fail in our country, because failure is not the end of anything. Failure is the beginning of a good thing to come. Because if you fail, in the process of failing, you are experiencing things not to do when you go through the same thing next time. And then the person was, you want to allow Liberians to experiment with our future? No. But allow Liberians to fail. And this didn't happen in CDC government. It's not happening in this government either. You have a major highway that is being constructed in the southeast. Beautiful road. But who's the major contractor? Chinese. And you think they're going to spend 95% of their money in Liberia? Why are you public work ministry? And I'm speaking to the area that I know. Public work ministry. Why are you not subdividing these sections? Okay, Grant, you there? You'll take from the border of Nima County to the border of River G. Bring people who will train there. Let's work together. And even if you're going to send the Chinese in there, but the material, the labor, and everything else must be provided in that area, so that the local money that you're going to pay them will be spent locally. Right now, as we speak, if you know the same way people can send money when it go down, Liberian, BB shot Liberian that working in the country, BB shot, PhD, they go crazy. Every one of us go crazy if same way go down. Why? You think our own we probably know how to enjoy ourselves on a Saturday afternoon nyaga, nyaga, waga, waga. We don't know those things. And they say we caca cleaner. So we our own when we finish cleaning caca, we just send the money. But you, Prince Sherry, someone who been, or not just you, any other person who been through the war, or who was in Liberia, you know the suffering in Liberia. Any family member call you say, I don't have it. The first thing that will go through your mind, yes, I was there. In this country, when you say you don't have it, you can go to a local community and they'll get you canned food. In Liberia, we don't have it, we don't have it. But these people feel that this position, they are entitled to this position. You have lawmakers that are making more money than anybody can stick a shake at. Why? Why? What gave you the right to make $15,000 a month? What kinds of job creation policy that you are put in place to make sure that you get that kind of money to support you? We don't have that. So the job creation process is not unique to this government. It is us, Liberians, that have the problem. We go to this position, we get paid, and yes, it's a sad thing. We get paid, we don't even keep the money in Liberia. We send it back to Europe. Then Europe maga and send it to World Bank. World Bank say, you want money, we'll borrow you again. Our own money, they turn it back to us. And we think we're smart. And if a Liberian man stay in a position and didn't take anything and he leaves, his own family member laugh at him, friend laugh at him, you are there, you didn't get anything. Look at him, you're walking on your feet, and you get no car sell because the man did not steal.
So, Mr. To, I want to come this, and this I want to push you hard on it. One would say that you not being fair and sincere to your friend, the president, who you admire so much. You and I were not the ones that asked people to stop riding their motorbikes. Some of us in the states or in the diaspora, one of the means to ease the burden on us, some of us bought at least one or two motorcycle or motorbike and give it to somebody and say, "My man, run it." So that at least, when the family needs some kind of transportation, they need something, you can take that money to be able to help you. Some other people, they were, running kekes. I mean, people were running keke for them. That helped to some extent reduce the burden. But you wasn't the one that gave the command that these people should leave the street. They should not, be here. They should not be there. It was the president. I mean, through the Liberian National Police boss. So again, when you try to put this on us as Liberians, that it should be a collective problem, one would say that you again not trying to be, you don't want to be real with the person that you support. I mean, the individual that you support, he gave the order for these people to leave the street. He has what it takes to be able to ensure that job are created. Remember, he talked about 10,000, creating 10,000 opportunity for Liberians where they will be trained in the area of digital. Up to now, we have not seen that. One would say that your friend, if I would put it this way, that this man have shown all level of being inept, that he lacked the will to ensure that what he said yesterday comes to fruition, or he just lackadaisical. He might have the opportunity, the will, and whatever, but he just don't want to do it. How do you respond to that? And you here blaming Liberians instead of blaming your friend, one who you support. How do you respond to that, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. And before coming on your show, my wife warned me very strongly to stay above the phrase, so to speak, and don't let Prince Sherry throw the red me at you, and then you go yow 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 style like you're some kind of lion. and I will do my best to maintain my cool here. But in our man show that that different issue. That different issue already. You're gonna call my president, the father of the nation, the kind of they're trying to a different issue, but we will do our best to hold ourselves together because my wife is watching and I will do my best. But let me
All
say
right.
this here.
We want to say welcome to Madam To. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are watching from and
Thank
from
you.
whatever, a
Yeah.
surrogate platform. But we want to say welcome, Mama. We
Thank you.
appreciate you. Thank
So,
you.
so let me say this here on a very serious note, Mr. Sherry. I am not holding or trying to blame Liberians. No, far from it. Far from it. When you are giving these opportunity, let me say that again. These are opportunity of privilege. They are not entitlement. Now, let me say this here. President Bakai asked people to help in making sure his arrest agenda are carried out effectively. Now, who are those that are running the government? President Waka is just president. You got ministers, you got deputies, you got assisting, you got directors, and so go down the line. They are all Liberians. We will not go to Ghana because Ghana have some efficient process over there. Therefore, Ghanaian, give us some of your people so that we can run our government. We can't do that. We're going to have to do it ourselves. Let me repeat myself again. Liberians must be allowed to fail. You cannot try to protect us all the time in the process, making foreigner rich because you want to bring in expertise. You want to bring in experts from all over the world to come and help us because you don't believe Liberians have the ability or capacity to do certain things. Unacceptable. Don't be afraid of that. Your term is only 6 years. And if God have it, if you do right, they will bring you back again. Do what is right by the people. Here comes the other thing I'm saying here. If you don't have the power to explain, yes, then you do what they're doing. But if you can explain to the Liberian people why this policy, why this process, why this thing is going the way it is going, people will respect you. They might not agree with you, but at least you're giving them the information. And in providing truthful information, you're bringing people on board with you so that in rough times, when there are no jobs, they'll say, yeah, but the Papa told us so. That's the point that I'm making. I'm not trying to blame other Liberians for the failures of government after government after government. The money is coming into the country. Yes. Yeah, this government said they're going to raise 1 point something billion, not million, billion. Okay, they said they're going to raise it. What is that? How many people in Liberia that paid property taxes? How many people in Liberia that own gold mine? How many people in Liberia that own company? They think they're not just the government overall. When they give Liberian people contract, they don't pay the contractor. The contractor employed Liberians, young Liberians to work. Please, we have a sad situation, Michael. They employ young Liberians to work. But when they go to collect the money, government say, we got money, yo. How do you expect for them to pay these young Liberians that are on their payroll? You want them to carry your burden while you as an individual building millions of houses, millions dollars houses all over the place. And you expect us to agree? No. And that's what I'm saying. We as Liberians has to be responsible. We should hold ourselves responsible.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Again, fellow Liberians, you are watching us here under the Palava Hut. We are here with our special guest, Mr. Samson B. He is the board chair of the Liberia Public Radio and also one of the, the bosses there, one of the hosts. And he is, a supporter of Joseph Numa Boyka and not, a supporter of the CDC, I'm sorry, the unity party or so. But somebody will say, you can say you can eat people, but when you call the soup, you say, me, I'll just taste the soup, but I can eat the people. So,
No, 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 no. Sherry, no, then you are not fight fulcrum with the culture of Liberia. There are people in Liberia that don't eat, pumpkin, right? They
yeah.
only eat the part that on top. They don't eat the bottom one. Wait.
Anyway, that's the liberal. That's the liberal. So you're finding out a way to escape from it.
I
But so
have the ability to compartmentalize things, Sherry. So,
we are here and want to welcome all of you. We are going to take our last segment and then we are going to open the lines. Those of you that want to call, we are going to pin the number out there so that you can call. We'll go to the comment section so that we can read some questions if you have for him. So again, you are welcome under the Palava Hut. Those of you that are joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, on the different platforms that we find ourselves on the Instagram, I want to say all of you are welcome. We really do appreciate your presence here. So we are here with Mr. Samson B. The liberal, the man who will talk all of the Tabata. So few days ago, Mr. To, we saw you venting out your frustration against this government. You were very, 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 I mean, you were in a different mood altogether. Somebody would say, what a class 4 or class 5, and he was in a different mood altogether, bashing at this government. Was that a sign that indeed what this government promised the Liberian people as it relates to the issue of the rescue mission, was that a sign from you that this rescue mission has collapsed? What we saw, that mood that we saw you in, we have the video here, that mood that we saw you in when you was being interrupted by, the the CEO, Mr. So and others. Was it a moment where you gave up on this government, or it was a sign of weakness on your part, or you just believe that all hell has broke loose and Mr. Bueka cannot redeem himself, meaning that he is at an irredeemable moment where everything was just falling. Let's hear from you, sir. We saw that video.
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. I'm glad you brought this up. As I stated earlier, we support this president when he was Ambassador Waka. We supported the Ambassador Waka to succeed because we believe that among two gentlemen, two Liberians, two sons of Liberia, we believe that President Waka has the ability to redeem us and bring us from collapse. So it's with that standing among the community, we must be also, we have the ability to criticize, but we will do so with responsibility. Now, you're quite correct. I am in a unique position to criticize, because if I criticize with respect, that is, those who saw me and know my position will recognize that I'm not doing so from the position of hate, that I'm not doing so from the position of envy, but strictly being truthful, that there are certain things I believe that were not being done correctly. And when those things are not done correctly, from my perspective, I will call them out. I'm not here for kumbaya. I'm here for the Liberian people. Look, Mr. Sheriff, we have to take this thing serious. It doesn't matter what side you're on. People die for us to have this one man, one vote. And we cannot and we must not abuse that. The fact that you have the opportunity to lead out of 5-point-something million, you put your hand on Liberian people, say, okay, we believe you. We will let you lead us. Does not mean that you're going to lead us somewhere else. We will help you to lead us. And in my situation, I think I'm already halfway there, because President Waka is quite aware of what he wants to do. He's not coming and try to learn on the job. The man, from my perspective, he has the experience. And when I said that on the show the last time, Mr. So, the CEO, decided to ridicule me. You're able to ridicule. Who will laugh at me? Look at the fanfare here. Able to laugh at me. I think I'm coming to worry about who laugh at me. I must be truthful. I said, and I will say it again, if I were working in this government, if I was to be employed in this government, which I don't think I will be employed in this government, because first of all, they got money to pay me anyway. So, but if I were to come in this government, after work every evening, I would try my best to see the father of the nation and soak the experience, have a conversation with him. You think President Walker, all these years he been in the government or been working whatever position, that he doesn't have the experience? But many of these young people believe that they know it all. And let me tell you this, Mr. Sherry, and these are some of the things I was saying. How in the world, Minister of Public Work, Minister of Transport, and the police director, those three people, they're supposed to be the police and director and the Minister of Public, they're working together because their jobs intertwine, their position. Public work deal with infrastructure. Police deal with people who use those infrastructure. The transport ministry, as far as I'm concerned, they regulate the utilization of those infrastructure. So those people, they need to work together and have a meeting, regular meeting. Where are we today? Why is it that we have so much traffic jam in this particular section? What's going on? When you do that as a group, you will be successful. And this is what I was saying, and I was criticizing that many of these young people around the president refuse to understand that this position are not entitlement, that this position are privileged position, and they must be seen as such. And if you don't do so, we will call you out. Despite our full support of this president, whom I believe at this time that they are putting in a bubble.
Thank you so much. You believe that they are putting him in the bubble, according to what you said. Mr. Toll, of recent, we saw what happened in Liberia. The country was almost at the brink of a total collapse. When we saw what happened at the house, the lower house, the House of Representatives, where the president, he was very emphatic, he was very clear that for him, he will now work with Fonati Kofa and his team. He will work with Richie Kuhn to the extent that his legal advisor, as it relates to the government, the Minister of Justice, the man who by law is clothed with the authority of representing the government, speaking on behalf of the government, and even disagreeing with the president. We saw when the Supreme Court sent it, ruling relative to what was happening, majority and blah, 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 and legal and stuff like that. The statement of the Supreme Court or the ruling of the Supreme Court was being misinterpreted by this justice minister. But even before that, the president took a strong stand that he was going to work with, Richard Kuhn and his people. That moment was a defining moment of our democracy, where we saw things going haywire. To the extent that on 3 different occasions, our international partner, ECOWAS, sent people to see how best they can resolve it. Mr. Boyka said no. This is the man that I believe in. It was alleged that he even, gave out some money. We saw lawmakers with money, how they were bribed, and etc., etc. Let's hear from you, sir, as one who supports this government. From all fair, assertion, from your own analysis, we saw President Boyka involved into it. The records are there, reports are there. We heard from him. There were several meetings held. What is your own take when that thing was happening? What do you have to say to it?
Thank you. One of the things that I respect and admire about this president is his ability to deep down and bring back the culture. If you remember keenly, when the president went to the Capitol building, I believe after the fire, immediately after the fire, he said hooligans. The president was upset. I believe. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I don't even. He even get my number. He can't even talk to me. Got too small. I way, 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 way down the totem pole. So he are not even close to his shoe set. So yeah, I don't. But I'm saying it from what I saw and what I believe. When he made that statement, he was angry with all of us as Liberian. What is it in his mind? Thinking, what is it that you young people, whatever confusion you have, you cannot resolve it? That you're going to put somebody, fire going to happen in this building that I saw when I was young, people were reconstructing this building. You don't know the importance of this building? And because of that, it evoked that emotion in him to use the word hooligans. Mr. Sherry, I support and Flanty in the interest of fairness. Flanty Kofa is a friend as well. I supported him during the campaign when he wanted to be speaker. And the reason why I supported him on my platform and everything, that was just one reason and one reason only. Because I believe if an opposition is willing to work with the president of the Republic of Liberia as a speaker, that person must be given a chance. And Flanty Kofa proved himself and prove all of us right that indeed he was willing to work in the interest of the Liberian people and not partisanship. You were saying here that the president hand in the dialogue. Okay. Let me take it back because I was getting ready now to go.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No.
You have the floor.
Wife is watching. I will not go down that road.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but I will reply you. I will reply you Monday. I will reply you
Yeah.
Monday. Monday, there's no hold back. But then when I'm being restrained, so I'll do my best. Look,
Oh, okay.
let me tell you this. This president and many Liberians have termed this as being somehow deceitful behavior. The president, when he saw that Speaker Kofa was ready to work with him, he embraced because Speaker Kofa fully. He took Speaker Kofa to Italy. Remember that when the people started their issue. When he came back, and this is what I'm talking about, being in a bubble, without even recognizing that he's in a bubble. When he came back, when they came back, okay, Speaker Kofa started having issues with those people. They decided, the House of Representatives decided they're going to play the Edwin Snow type game. They sing game, they play on Edwin Snow. Now, here's what I told you a few minutes ago. Those who are asked by the president to serve him, you must be truthful. The justice minister decided, and the president is in his right because he's the lawyer for the executive. So the law came from the Constitution, law came from the Supreme Court. The president said, I'm not lawyer, Mr. Justice Minister. He said, that's what it means. He gave the meaning. Do you want the president to defy his lawyer and say, no, that's not what he say? Why, as he himself is not a lawyer? So he decided to do exactly what a lawyer have instructed him to do. You can't fault him for that. This is a team player, for Christ's sake. He's the number 9. He's going to score the goal that the ball, so they pass the ball to you. The other boy is dead. The two got so many mud on it. When I shoot it, the goalkeeper will suffer because the mud will spite up. No, that's not your job. They give it to you. It's what you do.
So, Mr. To, there is something that I'm getting from you, and you keep using this word. I just marked it down. That the president is in a bubble. And I like how you cleverly articulated it from the initial, from President Weah, now up to this time. And you continue to talk about this bubble. Is it that you are not allowing yourself to be fair to this president and say, look, Mr. President, based on your experience, based on your connection or whatever it is, you should know better. You should bring on the right people, because there are clips where this president said on the VOA, it's not going to be business as usual. He will bring in people who are competent, who are qualified, who are able to do the job. And from all indication, and this will just lead me to our last discussion about the issue of corruption. And from all indication with what he said, we are seeing that the wall is crumbling. With this issue of corruption, we saw what happened to the Commerce Minister, Amin Moda, who is more like a son to Joseph Newman Boyka. When money that should have been used on other projects for the Liberian people, it was diverted for him to buy this vehicle from the LRA. They gave him that money, almost 90 plus thousand, that could be used in other areas. At the end of the day, when we all mounted that noise, Amin Moda walked away with impunity, without he not being persecuted. We saw what happened at the LRRC, Liberia Repatriation Commission, etc. When Liberians came from Ghana, the first batch of returning from Ghana, the money that was allocated for these people resettlement, it was siphoned, mismanaged, misused. At the end of the day, one Patrick Bozie that was there at the Ministry at the LRRC, that man was just suspended and he walked away free. And there are so many cases of people who have been deeply involved in the issue of corruption, and they just walk away free. Nobody under this government is in, court or being persecuted for this act of corruption. Do you think that this president knowingly, willfully, purposefully is protecting people who are corrupt and running behind the opposition, like we are seeing today? Honorable Tue is in the court. There are other opposition, that well-known oppositions are in court, but nobody from this particular rescue mission. Look at of recent. Let me just conclude with this brother Brown from the Ministry of this people, this employment people. I'm sorry.
Labor Ministry.
Thank you very much. Labor Ministry. When Brown, who was caught on video by one of his colleagues extorting money from people, at the end of the day, this man just went and sat down. He said, "My man, go and sit down." We saw what happened at the Ministry of Youth and Sports with J. Brian McGee, the alleged rape crime. Up to today, this president is yet to take any action. So somebody is saying that we are seeing a persistent or a very constant habit of this particular president of shielding people who are within the bubbles of the Unity Party, but going after the opposition. What have you to say on this?
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. And I like the way you're going at it, and we will do our best here to continue to bring information up. When I use the word bubble, yes, back in the early 80s here in the United States, there was a young man here that was born, but he had certain disease, and he was not allowed to interact with any other person because of the disease. He could die. Of course, he died. But at that time, they actually literally made an air bubble where he was staying in that bubble. And that's why when I say bubble, that's what I mean. And President Weah also, I believe, was put in the bubble. I'll give you an example before I go on to your roller skating of all the other stuff you started here with. We will reply to those things. But let's look at President Weah. When he first started, the military, 14 or 7, whatever number they have on that hospital, when they were building it.
14 military hospital.
Okay. President Weah went to lay the first brick, if you remember that, the doctor's place. Now, I'm not a soil, this soil mechanic, but I cannot classify myself as being soil scientist. So I'm not, but I do know soil properties. soil, dirt property. You have internal friction of internal soil, friction of internal. So that means if you pile soil up, it can only go so far before it start crumbling down. Because once it reached that internal friction of angle, it will start crumbling down. President Weah, if you look at the picture where he was at the time when he was laying that, President Weah was six something, almost what 6'8" or something like that. Very tall guy. They had him in that hole with no braces around, none whatsoever. They dug the hole and didn't put brace to block the sand from caving in. But just God, if that internal friction had failed, collapsed, would have been okay. I don't think he would die, but the sand would have collapsed on him. People have the knowledge and they refuse to exercise that knowledge. President Weah is not an engineer. Why would you put him in that kind of position? When you know, in order for you to, many of them that were there, engineers, they have rules when you're digging, how to dig. You ought to do a layback, put a bench on it, you go up and put a bench, you go up and put a bench so it doesn't collapse on you. But this one, it was sheer cliff. And they let him go in there because they believe that the fact that he's not an engineer, they can do anything. That's bubble right there. That's just the common stuff that I'm just giving you. And many, many things that I can say on that. Now, let's go to this lengthy issue here with Liberians not being charged, people in this government not being charged. The government, Republic of Liberia, Prince Sherry, if you don't know that, it is not a banana republic. It's a Republic of Liberia. The government was duly elected. The executive branch has within it apparatus that operate. They have functionalities. They have functional units in each of these branches. And this is why I believe that President Weah is one of the most and will be the most successful president, because he understood that very well. And he does not interfere into the affair of each of the functional units. Because he knows each of them have to work together so that things will happen the way it's supposed to happen. Now, those who were that you classify as being corrupt and think that nothing happened, what were the report? Who responsible to say to the president, these are the crimes Samson have committed in this position, and we recommend that Samson be prosecuted? Then the president said, no, I want Samson to be prosecuted because I like him. Mr. Sherry, let's take this thing serious. If the recommendation comes down from the higher place of people who are responsible to do these things, if they don't do it, you want the president to undercut them? This is why I said to you, those who are charged with these responsibilities must do it fairly. For example, and you're quite correct. And this is why I said they always feed CDC with unforced error, just like CDC used to feed up with unforced error. If you're going to say no prosecution, state so publicly. Let it be on public record. Samson Toe has done X, Y, and Z, but according to us, those of us who are responsible to charge them, we see no reason to charge him. But you can't just leave it out. They've chosen Mr. President, they want to good you. Then the president will suspend the person. Then we got people that Prince Justice or Prince Sherry say, why are you doing that? You think we're stupid around here? We know the rule. If the man charge you say he's doing something, why are you suspending him? Why are you firing him? What's the prosecution? So you're right. However, once again, we will not go to Ghana to borrow Ghanaians to come and fix our problem. We will have to fix it ourselves, Mr. Sherry.
We will not go to Ghana to borrow, Ghanaians to face our problem. We will fix it ourselves. I think it's about time that fellow Liberians, we go to the line, we put the line up and give you the opportunity so that you can be able to also interact with our guests. Because of time, we do not want to be very careful. These kind of people that hold both here. So to get a kind of man here, it takes a lot. So you don't want to screen him and take 99 hours. No, we don't want to do that. So the number is up. Those of you who want to call, ask your question, make your comment, or have a concern, you can definitely call us. There is, I don't know, but there is a number on the line here. All right, so we have a caller on the line here who is going to interact with our guest. We call him the liberal. Yeah, we call him the liberal. So we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller, your name and where you've joined us from. Your question, your comment, your concern. Let's hear from you, please. Your name and where you've joined us.
Um, Good evening. My name is Ebenezer, and I call from Chicago, the Illinois. Thank you to the studio guest. I must give it up to him. Maybe I could give him a 75%, 75, 80% as his grade tonight. He really try to be balanced, though we are human beings. To be balanced, it can be easy. But these were some of the things that we were saying during the CDC time in administration. Praise God that the past is almost present past. The past had just left. Because if we were there if CDC were there for 20 years, 15 years, then maybe they were not going to be present past. But thank God that CDC past is right here. Now that people understand that that people gathering around the president must be responsible for certain things. During President Weah time or during the CDC time, everything was just Weah. Everything was just Weah. The program can go to what they call it play, Jamaica Resort. The program go there after every evening. The program go there. But sometimes it is not easy. Imagine an experienced man for over 40 years get the kind of lapses, the kind of problems. Imagine.
So while you are on the line, let me just merge someone and I will give you, let me just merge this person. Let me just merge this person. Yes, sir. So yeah, Ebe, just go ahead with your question, your comment, your concern, and then we can take our next person. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so that's just it. He just spoke my mind.
Okay.
So I thank you ever so much, studio guest. Like I said, you did 75%, you did 75 to 80. I hope we all will continue. Now we know now that governance is not just about the leadership, the T and all, the middle, the skill, the feet, the fingers, everybody inside. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you so much. We go to our next caller here on the line. We go to our next caller here on the line. Let me merge this. Just give me a minute. Let me merge this. Let's go to our next caller on the line, Aaron. Hello, brother Aaron. Your name and where you anyway? Your name and where you've joined us from. Welcome.
Hey, Prince Harry, how you doing? This is Aaron Bobek calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Thank you so much. We have Mr. Samson B in studio with us. Your question, your comment, your concern. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, that's my big brother.
Okay.
How you doing, Liberia Progressive? Yeah, let me say thanks to the Liberia Progressive for leaving his comfort zone to come on a different platform. Meaning, this is not Unity Party platform. This is no platform that, supports the government. So, he came on this platform to express himself, his view on things that are unfolding in Liberia. Thank you, Libra. But what I want to say is, Libra is a full supporter of the government. I listened to part of the conversation because I just joined in. I'm not going to criticize Libra because I know what he was saying. Most of the questions that you asked him, I know what he was saying about them. I just want to say thank you. I'm glad that he can leave his comfort zone and, come to another platform and try to preach, the government or what the government is doing, things like that.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Liberal. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the line and take our next caller who is here with us. This number is from the area 717 PA. I'm seeing here. Hello, caller, your name and where you've joined us from. Welcome.
Yes, my name is Amos, and I'm coming from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So, Liberal, thank you so much. I didn't, well, yeah, I expected that you would do this well. You're smart, you're educated, so yeah. I expected that you perform well on a different platform. But what I wanted to say here is that, Sherry, I don't know you that much, but from the few times I've listened to you on Liberia Public Radio, the difference between you and the laborer is that you are a staunch supporter of the CDC, the CDC does not do anything wrong, the laborer, I don't like him that much, but I kind of like him. Well, he say, he's a smart guy, a guy, yeah. He said that some of the things that are happening now that happened even within the CDC government, so, educated person will always acknowledge that, but I know, I think the laborer is not really a UP partisan as much as he likes Joseph Boakai. He just like Joseph Boakai. So he shifted blame to the people that work for Joseph Boakai instead of him acknowledging that, oh yeah, Joseph Boakai is the president at the end of the day. He's the ball. The buck stops and it starts and stops to him. So but Labor a great job, and it's a lesson to learn that. Well, you can be a partisan, but sometimes, yeah, when somebody does wrong, say it. Somebody does right, say it. But yeah, it's a great job, and thank you so much, Laborer. But Mr. Something Branto, thank you. Mr. So is waiting for you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So I want you to respond to the first batch of caller, and Mr. Amos ended with something. Honorable Amos, I'm sorry, the last name I don't know, but he ended with something very good, that which actually I wanted you to also, to know. I am seeing that you are shifting all of the blames. You've also created a bubbles of protection for the man you led. That my own man here. So anytime we put it to him, he said no, you will go to the other people. And you've built a kind of deflector, around him. So anytime, for him to take the blame, you say no, no, he shouldn't take the blame. That more Ali there, and people then were Ryan, that the Oxford were there, that the other people there. But you listening to the callers. Let's hear from you, especially with this last caller. You are deflecting the whole blame on the president. You don't want him to take the blame. You are protecting him and putting the blames on others. But let's go ahead as you respond to these comments, questions, and maybe concern that people had.
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. Let me just say that the first caller, yeah, you're quite correct, because I was one of those who were in the habits of criticizing everything CDC. However, if you were to go back to some of my video, I've always stated that the President Weah, was also put in the bubbles. It's not like I'm making excuses. Look, Mr. Sherry. Yeah, Iram, Robert, thank you. I number 9. Thank you very much for calling in. Yeah, yeah, I'm cool. Iram, Robert, well, I can go anywhere. I can go anywhere. Huh? No, but look, let me say this as Prince on a very serious note. Right now, former President Weah he's not president anymore. He's not in power. When he's driving the street of Monrovia, they drive with regular speed. He is now truly enjoying Liberia. He is now truly enjoying Monrovia. Right now, President Waka, before he became president, when he's driving, he drives with regular speed. When traffic stops, he stop and observe and see things and see how Monrovia is. That's how he knew that young children were selling in the street. Go and see right now when the president going to work. One, whew. You don't see nothing. Nothing.
In fact, they even stopped the traffic for almost an hour.
Okay.
This is the recent complaint that people are having. Almost 2 hours, the traffic.
Exactly. So when you do that, but who will want to care our president in Liberia now at this time? For goodness sake. Well, maybe I'm being naive. Security say they need to do it fine. But when you do that, the only time the president can see things when he be invited to the occasion to open the building and those things are structured. He can't just get up and go see the president, go say something. They have to arrange all of those things. When you do that, you're weakening the system because the system is set up. From my perspective, the system is set up so that the president and the leadership themselves will interact with their subject matters so that they will be able to understand what is happening and not secondhand information. What the president and everybody else is getting right now, those are secondhand information. And when they are in a bubble, they like they used to tell President, yeah, oh, Bagu, you're strong. Nothing can happen. Don't matter people, they don't like you. That's why they do all the kind of thing. You will win. Instead of being truthful. Mr. President, the one here, we got to find a way. What in the world? Who in their right mind and look at this most popular Liberian? Even as a former president, he's still number one popular in Liberia more than any other person in Liberia that is alive. And they let that thing slip out of their hand because of greed. They couldn't even use the president's popularity to win an election.
So, fellow Liberians, we are here today with Mr. Samson B, the laborer from the Liberian Public Radio. And we want to say to all of you who are following us, thank you so very kindly for your presence. Mr. Toe, I want you to address this issue, and maybe we can call it a day. The Weah Gate scandal. The Weah Gate scandal. The Weah Gate scandal. Before the president could appear on the ELBC to give his own, a session on this, there were a lot of information coming from everywhere. Kulabana Fofana giving her own information. Mika people giving their own information. The other person giving their own information. Public Works Minister giving your own. That security place down there. We can talk about it. We all kinds of different information. The president came up to tell us that place is for the MRU. Even at that, we also listening to Mr. Kesely, who said, oh, that place there, an IMRU area there. The information is just so. I'm coming. Let's just take this call. Let's take this call. Hello, caller. Your name and where you've joined us from. We have with us in studio Mr. Samson B.
Good evening, friends. This is my Rebecca calling from Minnesota.
Oh wow, okay, Reverend Mother, how are you? Let me take down the number. I'm supposed to call you in fact. Let me take it down quickly before. Yeah, because your own part you can call different, but they one part get it today. After this show, I'll call you. Yeah, Reverend Mother, let's hear from you. You have the liberal in studio.
Thank you so much. I listened to Mr. Togo. I think you see me training under the comment and say.
Definitely.
To be very frank, right? Mr. Togo is little bit to me though. That's my opinion that how I feel. He's not being so he don't be very honest to us, to me. I don't know.
Because what you say I'm not?
It's like I know that
not being honest.
Okay.
Everybody loves somebody, right?
Uh-huh.
But there are certain questions, certain issue you bring it or you can be frank to address the issue. Number one is to me that for me the number one thing I really like oh no, Mr. Toon is not saying the truth. Even the bishop said I left the line. You understand me? When it comes to that issue of that protest thing that went on President Weah administration with the UN student, the UL students, and though CDC, COP or something in that place there. He saw President Weah took action. Those children went to jail. You understand me? But under Mr. Bwaka, President Bwaka, her administration or before he came into power, our children were killed. Look at the boy in Foya. He never make a remark on that to say, oh, I'm coming to lead these people. It's not because of election that we killed the children, but were killed. And Joshua, and today Queen is in position. You understand me? They gave Queen job for killing somebody child. And we took the correction or whatever when Nathaniel Nage and Bill Trout, when they naked up, President Weah, he said, you will leave the position. You're going to exonerate yourself. You understand me? We talk about leadership. But look at a 14-year-old child being raped. The news is all over that place. The president is not speaking on that. He's not taking no action. The capital building issue. He said hurricanes. You don't even know who did it. But the opposition figures, whether of the opposition and opposition, everyone of them supposed to be questioned when the opposition figures are in prison are their question for the particular issue because why he said so security want to back a word. So how do you address those things? I want you to look at that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reverend Mother. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. So I think you were making a point before, the question came in or the comment. So you can just, just sum it up in the Foya Gate situation while you address this question.
Thank you, Mr. Terry. I think our mother, she's have the right to say what she wants to say. She has the right to disagree with me, and I respect that. And I also want to thank her for even giving me the opportunity to express myself and help based on the explanation or whatever position that she find me here. She decided to form her own opinion on it, which I highly respect, and I thank you for that. But let me go on to and as far as her statement is concerned, she's entitled to it. She has the right to express it. We're not going to disagree on who to say or what to say. But let me go on to the FOIA issue. The FOIA issue that you're talking about, very interesting, Mr. Sherry. All of this, I just told you a few minutes ago, that many of those people that were asked by the president to work for him, these are not entitlement, these are position of privilege. And if you are there to serve, one of the pillars of true servants is to be truthful. And they decided to stop because they were not even in any kinds of a meeting or conversation with each other. So because of that, each of them was given different positions. And the president, and I thank God for him, he decided to throw all of them under the bus if they were to be truthful with him. And he told all of us that when these people started, he said, and I'm just paraphrasing that when the people who started, excuse me 1 minute.
Yeah. So, fellow Liberians, we are here with Mr. Samson B from the Liberia Public Radio. He is the board chair and here with us today on the platform having this particular conversation.
Yeah, thank you, Prince. I mean,
Welcome back,
as you,
sir.
I'm sorry about that, folks.
No
We got
problem. No
kids.
problem.
We
It's
do
normal.
these things as Prince correctly stated from the beginning. We come and do these things from our homes, and we have kids. We got people noisy area. We don't. Well, some of us are not rich. To go and build studios somewhere else. Some rich people they got their own studio, no noise thing about. Some of us do it from, you know what. But
Yeah.
anyhow, let me go on. Let me go. So the president, for me, he threw them under the bus. And you heard him. He said when the initial stage, they didn't even inform him. Now, Mr. Sherry, is this the kinds of thing then should I say that the president is unable to lead? I won't say that. If I'm giving a responsibility on your job, if you are given a responsibility, it is your duty to carry out that responsibility. If you are unable to do that, be truthful to yourself first, because you're going to have to go to bed tonight. And if you lie, you're going to go to bed tonight and say, ah, my goodness, unless you have no conscience, which is not true. Everybody have conscience. And therefore, when these people started saying these things, one or two people among the president entourage or this president circle should have recognized that this thing is not going well. Why this person said this, and these are people of credible character. Why would they say a different thing? Somebody should have come out and said, look, we can't do this. Mr. President, what's happening here? This is what it is. They didn't do that. And so the president decided to throw it under the bus. So I'm happy that the president explained there's no gate here, no foyer gate. The man said that Mana River Union thing. Y'all go ask Mana River. Praying, I don't want to start. I don't want to start. Let me calm down a little bit. The president correctly, and the president told us, explain to the Liberian people that indeed this is a Mana River project. Let us take that for what it is. And if we don't believe that, let's go to the next step, logical step next up there, and find out exactly what it is. But as far as
All
I'm concerned, Mr. Sherry, I think this thing should be put to rest by now.
Yeah, well, anyway, that is another big whole, topic for another day. But we're going to take the last caller here, and we will go to our guest so that he ran up. We're going to take the last caller. Hello, caller. Your name and where you've joined us from. Welcome under the Palava Hall.
Okay, my name is Evan. I'm
Oh,
calling. I'm trying to ask the woman I want to say over, Mr. Tour, right?
yes, sir.
Hi, Mr. Tour. Hi, how are you? Okay, I'm calling regarding about Mr. Tour. He come here and say Joseph Waka is like this, like this. But I'm trying to ask this question. Oh, Joseph Waka said he's fighting for corruption and all the stuff. But for me, I don't believe that because I've been following several stuff and some of the things that he's doing, I don't even understand whether he's governing or he's just doing pick and choose. Today, what Joseph Waka is doing in Liberia, it can cause war in Liberia. Because you can't bring your own people then you clean it then and other people who are cheering that you only been in the country jailing there and trying to disgrace them. Everybody from the southeast. What happened to Tomo Fala? Joseph Waka himself or calling Tomo Fala is a thief, is a thiefer. But today we see Joseph Waka and Tomo Fala and Desi, San Joseph, then Jefferson Kochi, then they were all was accused here that they are criminal and all this stuff. But one day have you ever seen any Lofie, the paper is bringing them into book to say this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. But he running beyond. See what happened to the speaker case. We see it. So what happened? So Tomo Faradina today, they are changed men because they're from Lofa.
Thank you.
But we gotta be serious in that blue. If you want Labrador to be a better place, we gotta be serious. We can't be doing nepotism around the place. We cleaning our own people there, but other people not cheering there. You passing there, somewhere to where you want to jail them, but coaching there, you accuse them that they were bad people. But since he came to power, have you ever been any Lofian there to bring them to prosecute them?
Thank you.
Come on, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother, for the call. This is going to do our last call. Again, we're going to go to our, guest that we have here, Mr. Samson B. Too. And again, it's a privilege for us to have him here, along with all of you who are commenting, in the comment section. Mr. Too,
while you address the last issue or the question, whether we a question, comment, or concern, I just want you to know that we really appreciate your presence here and we see it as a privilege. It is not very common because most people, in fact, when they call and say, "Yeah, we're coming," after 1 or 2 hours, we call them by purpose. They can call and say, "My man, we're not coming down there. That your platform, that your CDC platform. You can attack people. Anything we say down there, you will rubbish it." But like Mr. Poplar Webley said, we want to thank you for braving the storm to be here. And again, we want to say to everybody, this platform is your platform. The uniqueness of the CDC is that we are open up to, criticism, and we open our arms because we have a political leader who taught us to be tolerant. That the best way that you can be able to make progress is when you open up. Like Mr. Tool rightly said, we must be able to make mistakes. That's the best way that we can do it. We make mistake, correct the mistake, and we move forward. So I want to say thank you, Mr. Toll, for braving the storm to be here with us. And I hope this is not going to be your first time. There are so many issues we need to talk about. Plenty issue that we can talk everything tonight because we can bore you. I know right now the other family member, they need your attention right now. They start calling now. Daddy, you gotta come. Grandpa, you gotta come. So they now start holding your table now. So we can't keep you here for long. But we just want you to conclude as we call this a day from your end. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sherry, and thanks to all the audience and everyone that called. I'm the most liberal on our own network. In my own Jida community, I'm considered someone they call Blaku. And Blaku in Kran language means elephant skin. It's very thick. You can cook it for 3 days before you can eat it. So nothing can move me. And because here's the thing here, Mr. Sherry. Now, this is even if this is true CDC network, which I don't think it is. I think it's a Liberian network. But even if it's a true CDC network, why would I be afraid to come here? Cilician are Liberians. They will allow me to disagree with them. I give you an example. Have you had the opportunity to bash CDC and then Ambassador Weah? When Ambassador Weah won the election, I went to Liberia. I went on CDC campus. At that time, Monuba Modu and Jefferson Koji, they were doing their speaking, what have you. So I drove in there. And the first security guy, come on, you press. I say, yeah. He said, come on. He took me to the chief of the security. I say, hey, my life in it. CDC Nigerian now recognize me. They know who I am. They come in, they will flock me here today. So the guy took me to the center of, they were under the sycamore tree. He took me to the center while Monuba Moru was speaking. And Monuba Moru stopped. Then he took, so this is me, press guy. He said, okay, well, take a picture. I got pictures of the sycamore tree. I was doing like they're taking picture up, taking picture everywhere. So they know I'm a Liberian. So even if I don't agree with them, they're not going to exercise me. So coming here is not a big deal. It's something we have to do. Now, me coming here also is an opportunity for sedition to hear other side of the story. That perhaps not every Liberian are against CDC because of hate. Many of us were opposed to CDC staying in power based on policy disagreement. Simple. In fact, I have one CDC was calling me one time. One of the guys said, aren't you from the Southeast? I said, yeah. He said, what are you doing in Lofa County? Because I felt Lofa County person was somebody that could lead us at this time. So, Mr. Sherry, it's not a strange thing for me to come here. You guys are our brothers and sisters. I'm not a member of Unity Party. To be honest with you, I'm a member of Liberty Party USA. I'm not a member of Liberty Party Liberia. So that's a different thing, okay? Because I do have a registration membership for Liberty Party USA. All right. But to close, Mr. Sherry, I think having CDC and sedition in Liberia in opposition is a unique experience, and it's something that all Liberians must welcome. All Liberians must welcome it because it gives us the opportunity to see the flaw of all of us as Liberians. Sedition will point it out. And in the process of disagreeing with sedition, we also going to point out the flaw from the other side. And when these false issues, when they are recognized by all of us, we will have the opportunity to fix it for the betterment of Liberia. CDC want Liberia to be here. Unity Party want Liberia to be here. Whatever party want, like, they just how do we get there? It's the process that we all are stumbling over. We have no hate for each other.
Sure.
So I want to thank you for this opportunity. We have our own platform, of course, and I like the way you keep stressing tonight. Boche, they come and let power business. I thank you for recognizing my power. Let power business. Yeah. Let me see the CEO on our platform. You can say, who you
we
this? Are the
we
Boche? Hey, yeah, Prince doesn't tell Prince Sherry telling you what I'm the Boche. I let power business. No, but on a very serious note, my brother, thank you very much. We appreciate it, and hopefully we'll continue to do that because there are much more issues to be discussed. I will hope
Sure.
that you bring me by.
Def-
The issue of CDC coming by. I
yeah.
want to throw my 2 cents in there. And let's
Definitely.
see how fast when we start that discussion. Let's see
Yeah.
how far before my internet get harmonized by your president. Thank you very
Uh,
much. Good
well,
night.
thank you so much. So, fellow Liberians, again, we want to say thanks to each and every one of you. We want to say thank you so for taking up the time. We hope and pray that we can one day have the board chair here himself, sorry, not the board chair, but the CEO, that the CEO will be here in our seats and we can have a conversation. The LPRC is a very fun, public radio that we've all been, using to disseminate information. I remember 2014, coming down, they started long time, but we used to always call them to our own tabata, and all kinds of things. But it's a very fun radio. They are doing exceptionally well, and they are one of the oldest in the diaspora. For those of you that do not know, they have a very, deep-rooted history in discussing the issue of Liberia. They started long, long time ago when we did not even have the how you call the thing, the Facebook and all the different stuff. You know what I mean? They kind of modding, sophisticated something. They started long time with MySpace and the rest of it. So thank you so much. We hope that we can have you here again another time. My regard to the Oma, and let me say thanks to the Oma for putting you in a position where you are a bit, somebody would say soft. You got an Oma as well on you. Well, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good night.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So that's how we do it here, fellow Liberians. That's how we do it here. I want to say thanks to each and every one of you, all of you who sent in your comment, your questions, your concerns. I was I was looking through, and basically I didn't see any questions, but all of these concerns, I think they were addressed. Some of them we put them in the discussion center. I want to say to those of you that are watching us here, there are some of you who have your own take. You want that platform where you can express yourself. You can say something, whether it be it to the current government or to the opposition. uh, you know my number already. Those of you who want to come as a guest, it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything to come here as a guest. Sometimes people just get a friend. Oh, that CDC platform down there, man, they will not get you a chance to talk. Oh, they will do this. Many people we've invited, at the end of the day, they will say, yeah, we'll come in 2-3 hours to the town when I call to ask them. In fact, some of them will even tell me, some of man, my people say, almost come, a platform there, okay, your heart and this, that, other thing. But that is not it, including those of you who are even seditions that you want to, have your say. You can give us a call. You get our number already. That number, let me just put this number up here. This number is both the WhatsApp number and our regular number. So whenever you want to come as a guest, just send us a text. Just call us. We can have a conversation and we arrange the time. We arrange, however it's supposed to be. And we'll come here to have a very fun discussion. On this note, I want to say thanks to all of you who sent in your comment. Those of you who call, I really want to appreciate you. The time have caught up with us. So until we meet again on this platform, my respect to all of you. If you are not following our page is under the Palava Hut. You are welcome to follow the page. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, or you can follow my personal
stuff. Praying Sharif, you can follow me. Or, better still, you can go on X and follow us on X under the Palava Hut. Or you can go on Instagram. We are there. On all the platforms, we are there. So until we meet again, I love you all and I appreciate you. Happy holiday to all. Bye from my end.